Certainly, if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly.
I'm playing. They got Elon. They're going to put him on a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's going to marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
Donald Trump recently became the target of a sharp and unfiltered roast from comedian Chris Rock, sending social media into a frenzy.
Because you think a lot of parents would, encourage their children's kind of high aspirations.
Yes.
But like you told your mom,
when I was a kid, before I wanted to be a comedian, my dream was to be the president of the United States. It's the only real job I ever wanted. Okay? Only time I wanted an office. I wanted to be the president of the United States. And I told my mother, and she's like, you bet.
Rock's take on Trump wasn't just another late-night punchline. It was a calculated takedown that left a lasting impact. The response was immediate, with supporters and critics alike reacting to the comedian's no-holds-barred approach. Trump has been a frequent subject of satire and political humor for years, with comedians, commentators, and talk show hosts regularly scrutinizing his business history, political decisions, and media presence. However, Chris Rock's latest commentary took things a step further, delivering a critique that hit directly at Trump's public persona and leadership style.
Thank you very much. Okay, but before we even get started, let's hey, the elephant in the room. President Trump's in the hospital from COVID, and I just want to say my heart goes out to COVID.
Rock took center stage, delivering his signature brand of humor with a tone that balanced comedy and critique. His observations covered Trump's tenure in politics, his social media controversies, and the irony of financial struggles despite branding himself as a business mogul. The moment resonated widely, with audiences reacting to Rock's remarks and the broader implications of his take on the former president.
Everybody's worried. Everybody's worried. I mean, we got Luigi. We got Luigi, and that's good. I really feel sorry for the family. I mean, everybody's fixated on how good looking this guy looks. If he looked like Jonah Hill, no one would care. They'd already given him the chair already. Be dead, okay?
Chris Rock's roast of Donald Trump quickly became the talk of the internet, with audiences erupting in laughter while Trump, known for his sensitivity to criticism, reportedly didn't take it well. The comparison of Trump to a sitcom character past his prime, layered with references to his legal troubles and public image, struck a nerve. The reaction was immediate, with social media users jumping in to amplify the moment. Sources suggest that Trump's frustration was evident, as he reportedly paced Mar-a-Lago in response to the jokes, possibly strategizing his next move. Whether that involved consulting his legal team or reaching out to longtime allies, the impact of Rock's words was undeniable. Trump has built his brand on projecting strength and confidence, but moments like this challenge that image.
That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it.
Chris Rock's reputation as a comedian who delivers sharp, incisive humor made this moment even more significant. The internet's response only heightened the situation, with memes, tweets, and viral videos turning Rock's words into an online spectacle. Given Trump's history, many expect a response on his preferred platform, where he is likely to dismiss Rock as biased or irrelevant. However, the reality remains. Rock's takedown was another example of how Trump's public persona continues to be a prime subject for scrutiny and satire. Chris Rock didn't just highlight Donald Trump's most infamous moments. He dissected them, exposing the absurdity behind the former president's actions with pinpoint comedic precision.
Nothing's gonna happen to Trump. Here's the crazy thing. It might just work out. Trump might work out. Yeah, I said it. Trump might work out. I mean, think about it this way. Bush was so bad, he gave us Obama.
From suggesting nuking hurricanes to altering a weather map with a Sharpie, Rock's humor emphasized how Trump often operates in a reality of his own making. Trump's history of questionable moments, like tossing paper towels at hurricane victims or casually proposing injecting disinfectant as a medical solution, became the backbone of Rock's roast. These weren't just blunders, they were examples of how Trump's attempts at leadership often veered into the territory of spectacle. What makes Rock's humor particularly effective is his ability to go beyond the surface and expose the deeper contradictions. Trump doesn't just make bold, outlandish statements, he does so with unwavering confidence, as if willing reality to bend to his will. Rock's roast didn't just entertain, it pointed out the surreal nature of Trump's persona, highlighting how his actions, no matter how absurd, are delivered with the conviction of someone who expects the world to take them seriously.
Can I help you?
Calm down, man. I missed the last category. Did you win?
No, we didn't win, all right?
Oh, that's a bummer.
For the audience, it wasn't just a comedic moment. It was a reminder of how spectacle and politics have become deeply intertwined. And with Rock's reputation for cutting through public facades, his take on Trump served as yet another reminder that comedy remains one of the sharpest tools for exposing the truth. Chris Rock's roast of Donald Trump wasn't just about the viral moments. It was a full-scale comedic breakdown of a persona built on spectacle. He highlighted Trump's infamous rally dance to YMCA, likening it to an animatronic figure glitching at a Chuck E. Cheese. The visual alone was enough to send the audience into laughter, perfectly capturing the awkwardness that has become a staple of Trump's public appearances.
The cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this crazy.
Rock didn't just stick to the surface-level material. He took aim at Trump's obsession with crowd sizes, comparing it to a teenager inflating the number of guests at their birthday party. The exaggerated claims of record-breaking attendance, the refusal to accept numbers that contradict his narrative, it all became part of a much bigger comedic point. The irony was unavoidable. Trump, who constantly touts his success, has also suffered some of the most publicized losses, from election results to failed business ventures.
Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African American in the world, the richest African American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right, he is African American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns.
The punchlines kept coming as Rock took a closer look at Trump's relentless branding strategy. Trump Tower, Trump Steaks, Trump University, all perfect examples of his habit of plastering his name on anything and everything. Rock painted a picture of a man so desperate for validation that he treated self-promotion as a business model, even when the product itself didn't live up to the hype. And then, of course, came the legal troubles. With multiple indictments, a hush-money scandal, and endless investigations, Trump's situation was ripe for comedy. Rock drew a comparison to Law and Order, suggesting that if Trump weren't a former president, he'd be making regular courtroom appearances as a defendant rather than running for office. By the end of the roast, Rock had done more than just entertain. He had turned Trump's own narrative against him, showcasing how the former president's larger-than-life persona has become one of the most surreal spectacles in modern politics. Chris Rock's takedown of Trump wasn't just about the laughs, it was a reality check wrapped in humor. The performance held up a mirror to an era where the highest office in the land sometimes felt like a reality show, complete with outrageous plot twists, public meltdowns, and scandal after scandal. Rock's ability to blend comedy with social commentary made the moment hit harder, leaving the audience both entertained and deep in thought about how things reached this point. Then there was Melania. For years, she has been caught in the whirlwind of Trump's controversies, and Rock made sure to highlight just how much of a spectacle her position had become. The former First Lady, often the subject of viral moments, whether it was swatting away Trump's hand or giving side-eye glances during photo ops, became a focal point of Rock's roast. It wasn't just about Trump's public persona. It was about the dynamic that had played out in front of cameras for years. Rock painted a picture of Melania as someone who had endured the longest unpaid internship in First Lady history. While past First Ladies embraced their roles with personal initiatives and causes, Melania often appeared detached, navigating a position that seemed more like an obligation than a passion. The comedic breakdown of their relationship struck a chord with the audience, highlighting the contrast between public perception and the reality of life inside the Trump brand. By the end of it, Rock had done more than just deliver a comedy set. He had laid out a biting critique of the spectacle surrounding Trump's legacy. And with Trump's known sensitivity to criticism, especially from high-profile figures, it's only a matter of time before there's a response. Chris Rock's roast didn't just target Trump, it peeled back the layers of the bizarre, almost scripted reality of Melania's public role. For years, she has maintained a carefully controlled image, often avoiding direct engagement in the political circus surrounding her. But Rock's jokes hit a nerve, exposing the contradictions and frustrations that have long been speculated about her place in the Trump brand. Melania has often been seen as distant and disengaged. Her public appearances marked by carefully rehearsed lines and expressions that rarely reveal much emotion. Whether it was her infamous plagiarism incident, where her speech borrowed heavily from Michelle Obama, or the many viral moments of her dodging Trump's attempts at public affection, Rock painted a picture of someone caught in a role she never truly embraced. The absurdity of her situation only adds to the comedic value. She went from a model to a First Lady navigating a presidency that often felt like an unscripted reality show. And Trump's larger-than-life personality, filled with grand claims and unusual beliefs, whether about wind turbines, exercise, or global politics, only made the contrast between them more pronounced. Rock's jokes underscored that for Melania, this has been a long-running performance, one that she might have signed up for, but never fully anticipated. While Trump himself is known for his fiery responses to criticism, Melania's reactions are more reserved. But if Rock's roast got to her, it might be one of the rare times where the public sees a glimpse of how she really feels about her time in the spotlight. Chris Rock's roast wasn't just another comedy bit. It was a moment that laid bare the uncomfortable reality of Melania Trump's situation. For years, she has been the subject of speculation, with countless viral moments painting her as reluctant, distant, and at times, outright unhappy in the role she was thrust into. Rock's jokes struck a chord because they echoed what many have long suspected. Melania isn't just standing beside Trump, she's enduring it. Whether it was the infamous "I really don't care, do you" jacket, or her visible discomfort. In public moments with her husband, her actions have often suggested that she isn't fully invested in the Trump brand's relentless showmanship. Trump, of course, doesn't handle public humiliation well, and Rock's roast was likely no exception. His usual pattern of denial and deflection, whether through social media rants, legal threats, or claims of media bias, was almost guaranteed to follow. His need to control every narrative, to frame himself as the victim of unjust criticism, meant that Rock's routine wasn't just another joke to him. It was an attack on his carefully curated image. Meanwhile, Melania's response was bound to be just as dramatic, if not more so. Public embarrassment has never been something she navigates quietly. And if history is any indication, this latest moment of exposure might just push her to further distance herself from the chaotic spectacle that continues to surround her husband. But here's where things get even more interesting. While the world was laughing at Chris Rock's takedown of Trump, insiders suggest that the fallout behind closed doors was far worse than anyone expected. Sources close to the Trump circle claim that after the roast went viral, tensions inside Mar-a-Lago reached a boiling point. Trump, known for his explosive reactions to public criticism, reportedly went on a tirade, lashing out at staff, advisors, and anyone within earshot. He was furious, not just at Rock, but at the media, late-night comedians, and even some of his own supporters for not defending him strongly enough. Calls were allegedly made to friendly networks, demanding that the jokes be dismissed as unfunny or part of a coordinated attack against him. But while Trump fumed, Melania's reaction was even more telling. Unlike Trump, who thrives on media attention, even the negative kind, Melania has always maintained a carefully controlled public persona. The last thing she wants is to be dragged into another media circus. And Rock's joke didn't just put Trump in the spotlight, it put her there too. Reports suggest that Melania refused to make any public statements, avoiding press inquiries entirely. Some insiders even claim she retreated from Mar-a-Lago for a few days, opting to stay at her own private residence to avoid the chaos. Whether it was out of frustration, embarrassment, or simply a desire to distance herself from the situation, one thing became clear. She wasn't interested in playing damage control this time. Meanwhile, Rock's roast continued to gain traction, with social media users dissecting every joke, replaying clips, and even turning some of his punchlines into viral memes. The more Trump raged against it, the bigger the story became. And with Rock refusing to back down, the saga only intensified, proving once again that no one, not even a former president, is safe from a comedian's sharp wit. And with that, Chris Rock delivered a roast that will be remembered for years to come. The jokes weren't just funny. They cut deep, exposing the cracks in the carefully manufactured image that Trump has tried to maintain for decades. His obsession with power, his fragile ego, and the never-ending spectacle of his public meltdowns, all laid bare in one comedic masterclass. As for Melania, the world will keep watching, waiting for the moment she finally decides to walk away. Whether it's another public embarrassment, a tell-all book deal, or a dramatic courtroom showdown, her next move is anyone's guess. But one thing remains certain: Trump will continue to rage, comedians will continue to roast, and the internet will never run out of material. So what do you think? Did Chris Rock go too far, or did he just say what everyone was already thinking? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. More drama, more comedy, and more viral moments are on the way. Stay tuned.